What's going on, YouTube? Here today in front of me I got the Samsung Galaxy A5 2017, and we're gonna get into some gaming on this thing. So this is running the Exynos 7880 at 1.9 gigahertz. It has 3 gigabytes of RAM and a 32 gigabyte ROM. It has a Mali T830 GPU. So it seems to run games pretty well. I'm rather impressed with how they have set up the hardware on this mid-tier device. So we'll get right into it here. And if you notice, this does have Game Launcher, much like the Galaxy S7 Edge and the S7. It's also on the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus now. So first off, we're going to get into Asphalt Xtreme. And if you notice, we got this little orange dot right here. So those are our game tools. No alerts during game. Lock the recents and back keys so you don't accidentally back out of your game. In game, you can lock the screen so anything you touch on the screen is not going to work. You can take a screenshot or record your gameplay. And in settings here, you can turn down the brightness and just up the performance or lower the performance to save battery depending on your preference. So that's awesome. And alright, so we'll build the vehicle. Got the new R5 now. One thing I don't like about this game is the ads, but that's something you got to deal with. So we'll go back out here and we'll go into a race and we'll show you what this phone can do. Well, overall, it seems like it's a pretty snappy phone. I haven't had this phone warm up on me at all when I've been playing games, which is stellar. Like, that's something that happens every phone I've had so far, and this is the first one that doesn't warm up. So that's a bonus, and so let's just take a look here and see how it does. Now, this Asphalt Xtreme game is like an off-road rally game, and you're always racing for the top spot. There's a few specific modes, but overall it's your typical racing game, and you don't ever have to worry about hitting the gas or anything. It does all that stuff automatically. But you just worry about giving yourself nitrous and steering, turning the phone. It's accelerometer based, the steering in this game, so it's rather difficult to play behind the camera, but as you can see, it runs smoothly. It is a high graphics demanding game. There are a few dropped frame rates here and there, but they're few and far between. So the game is definitely playable, and it definitely looks great on this AMOLED screen that Samsung has packed into this budget device. So as you can see, everything's nice and smooth. Oh, you get the dust coming off the back of the car. The flames work well. It's just, overall, it's a high-powered budget device, and it's extremely impressive for the price point that it is at. And I'm just crashed. Alright, so now we'll move on. And I want to just make another note again. The phone does not warm up when you're playing games like the S7 Edge or the LG G6 or even the LG V20 for that matter. All of those phones warm up substantially when you're playing high-end titles. So we'll go back out and we will launch TrueSkate. So now this game, it's like those tech decks back in the day, but it's all on your phone. So it seems to work pretty well, and it's a rather interesting game. It's an interesting concept for a game, but they did a very good job with putting it together, and it runs well on this phone. So I've been playing the crap out of this one on the A5 here. You notice my board's all worn out and damaged, and it runs very well. The only little stutter I have is in the first start screen when it's loading up the game. So we'll go back out here, and if you notice, I'm keeping all these games in the RAM, and we'll get back to that in a second, because that's another thing I want to point out to you guys, is the RAM management on this phone is wicked. For only having 3 gigs of RAM, I'd have to say it's right up there with the LG G6 and the Galaxy S7 Edge with the RAM management. It is on point. So this is Need for Speed Most Wanted. We've all played it. This is the newer version made by Criterion. So it's not the one you grew up with on your original Xbox. But it's still a very worthy title, and it's a lot of fun to play. So looks like I got enough for the Land Rover, so we'll get that, and we'll do this race here. Show you guys the performance. So this game seems to run pretty well too. I have noticed a few hiccups here and there, but you're going to notice them, whereas this isn't an $800,000 device. It's not touting the best specs in the world, right? But the graphics on this are impeccable for the price point that this phone is in, and it runs smooth enough for the average gamer. Now, if you're somebody who loves the top of the performance, this is not the phone for you. Spend the extra $200 or $300 and get a higher end phone. But for somebody who likes just playing a little game here and there to pass the time while you're waiting at the dentist or you're waiting in line at the store, this is the phone for that. Little short bursts, and it's not going to get hot even if you're playing for a long time. And like I've said before, the battery life on this phone is ridiculous. It lasts an extremely long time. I've got up to 10 hours of screen on time with this phone without a problem. So, as you can see, it runs smoothly, and the device has not heated up at all. It's still perfectly cool. It's not warm in any area on the back. Usually it gets warm right around here, but not on this phone. So we'll go back to that little bit I was talking about, RAM management. So you see, I still have all these games open. This is the first one we played, Asphalt Xtreme. Look at that. It's still open in the RAM. I can pick up where I left off after playing 2 other heavy-duty games. So the RAM management on this phone is definitely on point, and they did a good job with it for this device. So this device is definitely a major go if you're looking for something that's going to be a good all-rounder phone for good battery life, to play your favorite titles. But look at that, it did have to reload in Need for Speed Most Wanted. Oh no, it didn't. It still got me saved. Look at that. It just had a little hiccup there bringing it back. So that's pretty sweet. Alright, so you guys get the idea. This phone is a go for gaming. You get dropped frames here and there. I've even been able to play Modern Combat 5 on this phone with little to no effort. So this wraps up gaming on the Galaxy A5 2017. Is it any good? The answer is yes. So thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.